Number 8. So, big update this week. I have a new partner and he's going to be the CTO of the company. I was kind of thinking about the projects I was giving the previous guy, and I don't really know the ins and outs of databases and how to build all these things, and that's going to take up a lot of my time, and I need to kind of focus more on the business side. So I was really searching this whole time for someone that, number one, I could trust. I need to be able to trust them, and someone young and hungry like me, and obviously well-diversed in tech and knows what he's actually doing. And that person needs the ability to manage others. And I think I found the perfect person. I've met him through the fraternity, extremely trustworthy, just an overall good guy, good morals. So I think it's gonna be great. And he's very knowledgeable in the field. He's already putting together a team of interns, which I'll go into in a second. But yeah, I was kind of meditating on whether, pay him for projects or pay him with equity. And, for me, having less equity in the company, but the company being worth more is obviously going to be worth it. And if I want the CTO and the partner that I have now to put his full effort into it and put his A game on it and actually try and actually care about the future of the company, well, they kind of need to be invested in the future of the company. If they're just being paid per project, you kind of miss out on the entrepreneurial spirit of that person. That's kind of a similar situation why I think a lot of people do stock shares for the company. So you kind of feel like you're a part of it and you're a part of, making it good rather than just showing up for a paycheck. So I am going to retain the majority of the equity, but as the CEO and as the founder, but I think the CTO is definitely the second most important role, if not just as important as the CEO in a lot of tech startups. Because, with Archi, the tech is the startup. Like everything's on tech, everything's on technology. So it's a very important role. So the equity split is probably going to be somewhere in the range of 60-40. But I'm completely okay with that. And then we're probably going to set aside some equity for, potential funding raisings, stock options for employees that we bring on down the line, just give us some flexibility. When I tell a lot of people my ideas, my plans for the future of Archi, oftentimes they're concerned that someone else is going to steal the idea. So they're like, oh, you need an NDA so that no one steals it. You need to, why are you posting it online, right? What if someone sees it and tries? And my response is good. I hope they do. My response is good. I hope they do. Because I know that that'll ultimately push me to the best I can be with competition. But I know that I'll absolutely squash anyone that tries to compete with me. Because all I do in my life is I try to become the person I would least like to compete against. And I've talked about this concept in other videos, but it's the idea of, if you were a business, say you're Google, what would you not want Yahoo's CEO to do? Would you want Yahoo's CEO to watch Netflix, or would you want him to be training, right? Would you want him to be working 8 hours a day, or would you want him to be working 4 hours a day? Would you want him to be eating healthy or eating McDonald's, right? It's that kind of principle. So I try to live my life like the person where if I lined up against you, you'd think, well, fuck. So in that spirit, I just incorporated the company. So it's Archi Studies Incorporated because Archi just plain was taken. But the reason behind Archi Studies, and this is a big idea, is so YouTube has shorts, Instagram has reels, TikTok is just TikTok. But it's like this short little name that kind of gives you a glimpse of what it's going to be about. Shorts is a shorter version of what a YouTube video would be. TikTok just kind of became its own thing. Reels, like really, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of the photography of Instagram. So I wanted to create a name that, 5 to 7 letters, had that kind of feel that, it's a little short form content, but it's you're going to learn something from it. So it's not just, a TikTok. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a short form, but you're going to learn. So it's studies is what the overall idea for it is it's a study, right? Like the grand vision for the site is, it's starting with medical students now, but you log on to our app and it's short form self-help content, or not even necessarily self-help, but just like it's content geared towards you so that you can just log on our app and learn about what you're trying to learn about. So say you've been, thinking about these web design courses or whatever. Now our app is just recommending you different design people that are posting their own short form content. So then you constantly are learning about what you're interested in instead of, just doom scrolling on TikTok where, nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to shit on them, but it's just it's a different approach to it. So yeah, that's generally the grand vision for it. And lastly, for this one, I changed the title of the journey for this chapter from Millionaire by 24 to Building Archi. There's a multitude of reasons. I still am going to become a millionaire by 24, but I think Archi is the avenue to get that. I wanted to show how someone could go through the process of thinking, right? So when you first start, your goals, you're going to want to desire a lot of materialistic things. For example, Millionaire by 24, an obsession with money and how do I get rich. But then as you begin to learn and you become curious about, okay, if I can become anyone, then who do I want to become? You then begin to realize that a lot of billionaires aren't happy. And I'm not necessarily saying happiness is something we should all pursue, but just like they're miserable. Their lives suck. And it's tough because that is one of the metrics that people use to be like, okay, that's a good life. The more money equals the better life. But that's just generally not the principle. And what I've come to find, and this could be completely wrong, I could, learn something different next week, and this is all completely in void, but this is just what I know for now. What I've found is, people say monks are the happiest people, and it's like, why? It's because of their emotions. So their emotions are like this. And so if they're just being, their emotions aren't going crazy, therefore they're just here to live. They're just enjoying the journey that life is. But I was kind of meditating on it, and I'm just like, do I want to just be? Or do I want to just wake up and, I don't know, just live? It doesn't seem very, just the way I'm wired and the way I was given these experiences, I feel like I have a duty to myself and to the people that raised me that's like, hey, let's go help some people. Let's go educate some people. And so by that, then I can sit and say, okay, then what life do I want to live? And it's kind of do epic shit, but be stoic in my approach is kind of what I boiled it down to. So do epic shit, build a huge company, whatever else I plan to pursue. But right now that's the main goal. But then be stoic in the approach is to say, everything's about my emotions. Everything's about regulating my emotions. Working on myself is a full-time job. And if I can have the same type of emotional control and emotional intelligence that monks have and that Stoics have, then I can achieve a lot, help a lot of people, but then also enjoy it. So wrapping it all back together, I changed the title from Millionaire by 24 to Building Archi to show that it's my personal growth. And it's the growth to say, hey, money isn't what we're looking for here. We're looking to build and we're looking to help. But I also left it all up there. I left the Millionaire by 24 for the first 5 episodes. I did change the title on the playlist, but I left it up there because I want to show, and it's the same with the rest of these videos and why I'm leaving all of them up there forever. It's to show that it's a journey. People see billionaires, people see content creators, people see people that are jacked, and they think they just woke up one day and got there. And it's like, no, intelligence or knowledge or wisdom is gained, right? Wisdom is is gained over time. You're not born with wisdom. That doesn't make sense. And so if I can keep, the journey, but also show how I grow throughout time and not be ashamed that, I desired those things, but just to understand that it was required to get me to where I am now. If I didn't have that desire to want money that bad, I wouldn't have grown as spiritually and emotionally, and it wouldn't have gotten me to this point to film these and to build Archi. So I have to be grateful for it, and I want to show people that, hey, like, you're gonna grow, you're gonna change, and that's the point. That's why we live life. So yeah, it's a self exploration journey. That's what this is. So yeah.